Hello, everyone. Welcome to Silver Tears Tarot. It's always wonderful to have you here, and of course, a warm welcome to anyone who's just joining us for the first time. I had this feeling like I needed to do a soulmates reading for you guys today. There was not a specific note that was in my inbox that inspired this one. Just wanted to get into the energy and do a reading for you and just kind of see what comes out. And so, interestingly, I did the reading already, but for some reason, it did not record properly. So it was a really intense reading. We'll see how much of that energy wants to come out for us again, or if maybe we get a different angle on it this time. It'll be really interesting, I think, to see that. So, this reading is general, it's timeless. It's for all signs. If you're new here and it really resonates with you, be sure to like and subscribe. Well, and you don't have to be new here to like it, but like I said in a recent video, if it really resonates, you might want to check out a few more of the recent readings. So we're building one heck of an awesome collective right now, and you might just belong as part of it. So like I said, this is a reading about your soulmate. It's part of the soulmate series. It is not a specific question. We're going to look at the big picture. So let's start by getting the current energy between the two of you, the current energy that wants to come out between the two of you. Okay, so this is a little bit crazy. This did come out. It was in a different position, but it was reversed, just like this, and the feeling is exactly the same. And it was a mutual energy. So I'm going to explain this. This one is interesting. When I see the Five of Cups come out in this deck in particular, one of the things that I notice and am drawn to, and this is true in a lot of decks, but the person is just very regretful. They're unhappy. They're upset about these three cups that you see all the emotion and the love, the water coming out of them, and then behind them there are these two cups that have this brilliant transformation and all of this potential, and the sun is rising. And in this deck in particular, what I notice is that when it's in the reverse, there is this feeling that this person can now see the whole picture. So yes, they still see the three cups that have fallen down and everything's coming out, but they also see that potential for the rebirth and the transformation. And so that is the energy that's flowing between the two of you. And what's especially amazing to me is that that is one of the cards that came out in the reading the first time I did it. So that's really it was just remarkably consistent the way it felt when it came out too. So that's the energy between you. We'll see a little bit more when we go to clarify it. But first we want to see kind of how your person is feeling about the relationship. So let's see how they're feeling about the relationship. Okay. So we have a missed opportunity, and I just like to take that top card. It's interesting. Sometimes when I have a bunch of them spill out, there's a couple of them that I want. Sometimes it's none of them. This time it was definitely the top card that came out here inside the deck, and it's the Sun card in reverse. And this one, it's not about a lack of happiness. It's about a missed opportunity. So I was asking how they feel about the relationship, and it's like they're looking back on it, which that is also consistent with the last time I pulled these cards. So really the energy that I'm dipping down into hasn't changed, and it shouldn't have. I mean, I just did it. In fact, we've had exactly one of the same cards come out. So yeah, but this is interesting. So this is that feeling of the missed opportunity, and I sure wish this is a wishing something else could have happened. So let's see here how they feel about you. So that's how they're kind of feeling about this relationship, is feeling like there's a missed opportunity there. So, oop, I dropped it, but it dropped face down, so we don't take it. If it dropped face up, I would have maybe taken that. All right, so this is how they're feeling about you. We see that they are viewing the relationship as a missed opportunity, but also something that they think a lot about. And yet they have this new sort of, this is a much more mature perspective than what they will have had before, because there's this feeling of newness and change around the energy there. It's something that, it's almost cathartic. Like, I did a reading a couple of days ago where there was this cathartic energy around a change that, it was actually just refreshing to just be in that energy, and I almost get that here as well, but it's a well-rounded sort of feeling. So the way they're whew, the way they're feeling about you is the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is, and you've seen it in the previous readings, the Queen of Cups is just that flow of emotion. It's unconditional love. It is complete and total immersion in that love. That is, wow, that is how they feel about you. It's not necessarily how they're going to show it in the physical realm. They feel like the relationship itself constitutes a bit of a missed opportunity here. But they're getting better at facing it, at thinking about it, because they can think about the good and the bad, the potential, and maybe what is already water under the bridge. So let's look to see that question that I like to ask about their hopes and dreams gives us a little bit of an idea of what it is that they want here. Okay, so we have the Six of Swords, and just taking that top card, the Six of Swords, and this one's about healing, but it's about just navigating calmer waters. Okay, so a lot of times when you do healing, you move from what feels like these rougher emotional waters. It's difficult to navigate into these calmer waters, and the idea here is that they want to feel like things calm down and that they can navigate this a little bit more easily. This has been a little bit tumultuous for them, this situation with the lost opportunity, the missed opportunity. They really feel an awful lot for you. We're going to clarify these here in a minute, like I said, but this is just unbelievable, kind of the feeling that comes off of this card. So they are, this is so much love here. This feeling of a missed opportunity. Um, Wow. Okay. So we're just to before I forget, we're using the Star Tarot. That's what I'm using to read for you, and then I'm going to clarify with the Tarot of Dragons when we get to that point. But first I want to look into your hidden energies and just kind of see what is it that you can't see. It's the what is not as visible from your vantage point, and yet you should still know. Um, what does that look like? What would it be beneficial for you to know? Even though from where you're standing you wouldn't be able to see it. Maybe if you turned a corner you'd be able to see it, but it is not yet in your view. Oh, what do we have? Let's see, Eight of Cups. Okay, so this is like a pursuit of something. And you can see it here in this card. So in this card you can see that this person is moving toward this star, this glowing beautiful rainbow, this scene, and they're moving away from, some of these cups are down. It's a situation where maybe everything is not what they would like, so they're walking away. But the most important thing about this card is not so much that they're walking away. Sometimes it is, but that's not the most important thing here. The most important thing is that they're following their dreams, this person in this card. And so this is a hidden energy. So one of you, maybe both of you, is really just sort of moving toward your dream. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this, because that's the part of the Eight of Cups that really wants to show itself here. I'm eager to get into clarifying this. And I don't mind doing this reading again. It's one of those things that's a technical glitch that happens every once in a while. I don't know what causes it. There's no point in getting all that upset about it, but that was a super awesome reading, and I'm a little bummed that you guys didn't get to see that. Um, but let's see what's coming for you next here. Let's get a feel for what's coming for you next. And this is the energy is favorable for something to happen. Okay, and it's this High Priestess. That is what we're going to take. So, the energy is favorable for kind of this time of mystery, I want to say. And it's not necessarily mystery in that you're closing up and not sharing any secrets, because sometimes you see that associated with the high priestess. It's not that so much. It's just a time of mystery. It's almost like a sister to the hermit card a little bit. That's not that's not how this works. This one is not connected that way. It's connected to the magician, but it still kind of has that feel to it a little bit. So I guess let's clarifying the Star Tarot with the Tarot of Dragons. And we're going to start with that Five of Cups in reverse. So the Five of Cups in reverse, again, it's a little bit taking the regret away. I don't think I even mentioned that earlier. There is that sense of regret falling away, particularly as you're able to look at that bigger picture. And that's both of you, being able to look at that bigger picture. And yes, you recognize the cups that have fallen down, but you also recognize the potential. You have the Knight of Cups. So there is some really beautiful potential for communication and actions toward one another. That's what I would just see here. The right now, this is the current energy. The energy is favorable for the two of you to be moving toward one another, energetically speaking. Not necessarily that it's going to be the time that you do it, but this is a time when the energy is favorable to do it. Yeah, because, okay, this is the Fool in reverse. Let's look into, I'm sure it'll probably come out, but I'm curious to understand why we have the Fool in reverse. So we're seeing that the energy is favorable for somebody to reach out, communicate, make an action. There's this better, more well rounded sort of perspective. But there's still something that's causing you both not to move forward. So let's take a closer look at the sun, because it already feels like a missed opportunity. This is two cards. Oh, what's this? And we want it. There's already a missed opportunity. There's already kind of this sense that of not moving towards something, not jumping off, not going toward it. And with this feeling of missed opportunity that it's already there, it just makes me wonder if this compounds it or if this is because of it. So we've got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse here. And this one is kind of interesting. So this is a missed opportunity, but it's a door that didn't open. It's something that never even had a chance to get off the ground, really. So even if you had the opportunity to be with your person for a little while, it never got up to like running temperature. It never really got to be what it was supposed to be. And we've got one more here, the Page of Swords. Turn the rest of these over. But yeah, the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords it's another transformative card. But this page it's not always the most well thought out of things. So this is a card of it's an air card because it's swords, and so you think, communication, and there is the sense of communication around it. But there's not this sense of really well thought out communication. And I guess that's my point here. So it's like they get flustered when they're around you. And that's part of what they think has caused this lack of communication and this thing that never really had a chance to get off the ground. But they really feel a lot for you. So tell us more about this Queen of Cups. That is just the most stunningly gorgeous energy. We have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, they don't feel like they deserve you. They don't feel like they deserve you. And, based on some of what I'm seeing over here, and what I'm feeling in here, it's possible that they haven't earned it. Okay, so we're just taking this top card, and we have the Empress in reverse. They weren't ready, and they don't feel like they deserve you. They weren't prepared for you when you showed up. They feel like you're out of their league in this emotional sort of way. You evoke an emotion from them, or a level of emotion from them, that they are in no way prepared for, or at least that's what they feel about it. And this is part of what is causing them to kind of hold off and not move forward and make this forward movement, this action, this loving action in your direction, even though there's a lot of conflict here. Because even though they still feel like they get flustered, they've missed this opportunity, they never even had a chance to get off the ground, but they care so much. It's just, this is interesting though. When we look at this, they care so much, but they're undercutting themselves with the rest of the emotions that immediately follow. So they care, but they don't deserve you, and they weren't ready for this. And that's like what they're leading with. It's really interesting. So let's see here. They're wishing that they had some more healing. They're wishing that they could be in calmer waters. But what I think I'm really feeling here is about this. So this feeling of stuttering and having a hard time communicating when you come into the room, or they may not even show this outwardly, but they feel it inside, and it's like they are blushing and they hate it, and they wish they felt like they had more control over that. So that's part of what I'm feeling off of this here. But let's see what cards come out to give us a little bit more information and to clarify. We're clarifying, like I said, that Six of Swords. We have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so this is an interesting feeling that comes off of this Seven of Pentacles. And what's really interesting to me is the number of cards that have come out so far that I just saw when I tried to do this reading before. I think the likelihood of that happening is very low, but but the feel is so consistent that at least I feel like I really trust it. I feel at home in this energy because I was just here. But this seven of Pentacles is not necessarily it's not necessarily what I wanted to see, but it's maybe what I expected to see. So the Six of Swords is again that I want to get into calmer water. I don't want to struggle. I want things to be comfortable. I want things to be balanced. That Two of Pentacles is about balance. So they want things to be balanced and a little bit easier to deal with. But the thing that we're going to see a problem with here is that they kind of have this feel to them like they can never quite be satisfied. They don't have it's like a bucket with a hole in it where you can just keep pouring the love in and it'll never be enough. And that's something that they want to fix. They don't feel right about it. I don't think they even know how to put it into words. It's not easy to put into words, but basically it's never enough, but not for any real reason that they can put their finger on. So let's look here at this hidden energy of the Eight of Cups, which is that hidden energy of moving towards something that you're very attracted to. So this is about healing. It's a Four of Swords. And we knew that there was going to be a lot of healing. I mean, we just had we've got that Aries full moon that's all about relationships and healing, and we've also got this Queen of Cups, so love. And this is, we know that this is how this person feels about you in this complete it's almost like a sense of vulnerability, which is not necessarily what always comes off of that card. Sometimes it does. That's happening here, but it's also like there's a phoenix that's coming out here of this, out of this cup. And so there's this sense of something having ended and having been rebirthed or reborn. So there's a sense of pursuing rebirth in love here after healing. That is, it's just very genuine. It's like a very bright light to look at. This is somebody moving in the right direction. But it's not necessarily going to be, this is following that intuition, going into yourself. And what do we have? The Hierophant. So they're not going to be impacted by, there it is, tradition again. They're not going to be impacted by tradition or you two as you are going into almost your thinking caves here. But it's really about that intuitive connection to each other, to the universe, to your higher selves. You're going to be marching to the beat of your own drum. This is what this card says to me here. It's just that you're not going to follow a path that's been well worn. You're going to do something a little bit different. So just taking this top card, we also have the strength card here, which is, as I say, doesn't happen in a vacuum. Strength doesn't happen in a vacuum, but it does tell us a little bit about the fact that you're having to push against some fear in order to make something happen here. So as you move into this intuitive sort of space, maybe it's that fear of relying upon that sort of information and really going off the beaten path, even though you're just doing it because you know it's the right thing to do. And that's kind of what is heading in your next direction for you. So I wonder what that means. That's really interesting because you guys have got this, like I was saying, almost cathartic energy about you right now, but it's still not enough to necessarily have them contacting you right away. Because again, this is the current energy. They view your situation as a missed opportunity, never truly got off the ground, not to the, like I said, not up to operating temperature. It's not, it didn't ever really get to the point that it was supposed to get to. They feel guilty about this. They feel guilty about this because they wish they'd handled it better. They love you so unbelievably much. This is just unbelievable, but they don't think they deserve you. And they just feel, they keep saying to themselves, I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for this. I messed it up because I wasn't ready for this. And now they just only wish things would calm down. They realize they've got essentially a hole in them that allows them never to be fulfilled, but they just want balance. And they're striving for what they want. So they are striving for what they want here, which I'm curious to understand because, like I said, it's this rebirth around love, around emotion. It may be coming back into a place where they can truly feel and process this type of emotion. Because I feel a block there. I feel like they have a block in their ability to process this type of emotion around themselves. I don't deserve this. I'm not ready for this. It's just, it sticks out to me a little bit here, and that's one of the things that I see them wanting to overcome here. But I'd like to understand this a little bit better. And I definitely like to understand what's happening here next because this is just this bold sort of journey into the ethereal almost, and you're doing it on faith. It's amazing, and you're not necessarily following the script. So there's a nice feeling about that I'd like to understand a little bit more of too. So maybe we'll look at that when we go into the extended, both of those things. But first, I'd like to get you an oracle card. And so somebody asked me the other day, they sent me a message and asked, how come sometimes you get out oracle cards but you don't use them? And the answer is, I should have explained this earlier, that I pull the oracle cards out. I always have a deck in case I'm going to want it. And sometimes I want it and sometimes I don't want it. But I do want to pull an oracle card for you in this instance. And this is just kind of advice to go across the top because we've got a really kind of a complex situation that's happening here. And we know that, I mean, you guys have been living in this situation for a little while now. You already know it's complex. It's not a super simple thing. There's their own fears about themselves that hold them back. And so I said in another reading that they didn't know what to do when they were faced with this much love. And whoop, I meant it. Okay, so we have our card. Let's pick up the ones that hit the floor there. All right, and so we're just going to take this top one here, and it is about taking steps with intention. So this is kind of a cool deck. This is the Quantum Oracle, and one of the things about this deck, I'm just going to grab another card from it. Yep, it's from a different one. So they've got these different categories at the top. This one is intention. This one here is in the category of consciousness. And so, it's an individual card in a kind of a category of cards. And they have several, like 7, I think, categories or 8 categories of these cards. Anyway, this one is in the intention category and it's about taking steps. So this is really a card about manifestation, but it's also, it's not just that manifestation. It's also that that motivation energy, that energy to actually get started, actualization, moving forward and getting things started, those first couple of steps. So they're saying take steps, but it's really those first couple of steps um, that are sometimes the most important part of the journey. And that really, I feel like, fits here. And it's this, it feels like this looks like it's kind of close, but it turns out like you travel for a long time going for it, and it's not as close as it seems. So this rebirth in love may not be as quick as it seems, despite this healing that's happened here. So I think, like I said, we're going to look into that a little bit more. We're also going to understand, like I said, what's happening with you guys here that are you're relying a little bit more on your intuitive side, which is it's you going on faith and kind of going off script in a way that could potentially really open things up for you. But that's really just kind of your next step. So I guess let's get a feel for what happens after that. Like, what does that open up for you? That's something that I would like to understand, as well as I guess this is all part of what's going to happen as you guys are moving forward. We could even take a look more, maybe more at this relationship between the two of you, because we see how they feel about you, but I wonder if we might get a little bit deeper into that. So that's what we'll do. We'll take a look over in the extended and answer some additional questions, but hopefully this got you a few messages and at least helps you to understand what's happening with your union right now. So if you're feeling some of this cathartic new energy right here, and yet some of this fear around going off script and doing something that feels a little bit more intuitive and a little bit less like something that you'd be confident about. Just know that you're not alone. Your person is also feeling a lot of that fear as well. But you guys do have to take steps and get on the road to go towards what you want. So, yes, I am going to leave it here. We'll go over to the extended. If this one resonated for you, please do like and share and subscribe. And that just kind of communicates to me what it is that you guys want to see, tells me a little bit more about it. But thank you so much for joining. Hopefully, I'll see you over in the extended. But if not, then I will see you in another reading down the road.